There comes a time when you have to stop explaining your worth to someone who refuses to see it. When she doesn't value you, it's not always because she's cruel or careless. Sometimes it's because she's too distracted by the noise of her own emotions to recognize the quiet consistency of your presence. But here's the truth. If a woman doesn't value you, chasing her, begging her, convincing her will only make her respect you less. You can't make someone appreciate what they take for granted by giving them more of it. Sometimes, the only way to make her see your worth is to stop giving her unlimited access to it. You see, the reason she doesn't value you right now is because she's gotten used to your availability. You've made yourself too easy to reach, too easy to read, too predictable. You're always there, responding, explaining, proving, trying. And the moment you make yourself that accessible, something shifts in her mind. She stops seeing your presence as a gift and starts seeing it as a given. And once that happens, you're no longer a mystery, you're a comfort zone. But comfort zones don't create desire, they create complacency. So if she doesn't value you, the first thing you must understand is this: you cannot change her perception by speaking. You change it by silence. You cannot earn her respect through effort. You earn it through absence. It's in your absence that she'll finally notice what your presence brought. It's when your energy disappears that she'll realize how much space you filled. Because people don't recognize light when it's shining, they recognize it when it's gone. Pulling back is not about playing games. It's about reclaiming balance. It's about reminding both her and yourself that your time, energy, and love have value. When she takes you for granted, stop giving her what she doesn't respect. Don't text a check on her. Don't try to fix what she's breaking. Don't beg her to see your worth. Just step back. Step into silence. Because silence is powerful. It confuses her ego, but awakens her heart. It makes her wonder where you went, why you stopped caring, why the man who always chased her suddenly disappeared. And in that wondering, she starts to feel something she hasn't felt in a long time: curiosity. That's where the shift begins. Because the moment a woman who once took you for granted starts wondering what you're thinking, she's already starting to value you again. You're no longer predictable. You've become unknown again. And the unknown always draws attention. But pulling back isn't just about her. It's about you. It's about rediscovering yourself outside her validation. When you stop centering your worth around her approval, you begin to see how much of yourself you gave away trying to be enough for someone who never asked you to. You start to remember the man you were before you were trying to prove anything. The man who had goals, ambition, self-respect. The man who knew how to walk away when he wasn't appreciated. That version of you, that quiet, confident, self-assured version, is the man she'll start to notice again. When a woman senses that a man no longer needs her validation, it disrupts her emotional rhythm. She begins to question what changed. Is he seeing someone else? Did he lose interest? Why doesn't he call like he used to? These thoughts don't come from arrogance. They come from the human need to be desired. She's been used to being the center of your attention, and now that attention is gone. That's when she starts to realize that maybe she pushed too far. Maybe she underestimated you. Maybe she thought you'd always be there until you weren't. And here's what happens next. She'll test you. She'll send a small message, something casual. Hey, how have you been? Just checking on you. It won't be deep. It won't be emotional. It's not about reconnection. It's about confirmation. She wants to see if you're still available, if your energy is still hers to control. This is where most men make a mistake. They jump right back in. They respond too quickly, too warmly, too eagerly. And just like that, the balance is gone again. Don't fall for it. If you respond with calm, with clarity, with detachment. Show her you're at peace, that you've accepted the space between you, that your world doesn't revolve around her anymore. Because nothing makes a woman rethink her behavior faster than seeing a man who once chased her now choosing himself. It's not about being cold. It's about being centered. You're no longer trying to be what she needs. You're becoming who you need. You see, when a woman doesn't value you, it's because she knows you value her more than yourself. That imbalance kills attraction. She feels safe, but not inspired. She feels admired, but not challenged. When you reclaim your self-worth, you shift the dynamic. You're no longer the man standing in her shadow. You're the man she has to earn back into her light. And that's when she begins to change. Not because you told her to, but because your energy demands it. A woman values what she fears losing, not through manipulation, but through emotional contrast. When she realizes that your kindness has boundaries, your effort has limits, and your presence is conditional upon respect, she starts to adjust. She starts to show up differently. She becomes more attentive, more intentional, more curious. She starts remembering what she once ignored. The sound of your laughter, the steadiness of your voice, the way you made her feel safe. Because that's the thing, she never stopped wanting those things. She just stopped seeing their value when she thought they'd never leave. But when you pull back, something changes in her psychology. She starts associating your absence with discomfort. The peace she once had around you turns into restlessness. She starts overthinking. She compares every man to you. And while she may not admit it out loud, her behavior begins to reveal it. The slower replies, the random likes on your posts, the subtle attempts to re-enter your life. That's not coincidence. That's realization. Yet the true power isn't in making her chase you. It's in not needing her to. Because when you no longer depend on her validation, you become magnetic. You attract from strength, not from lack. You radiate calm instead of desperation. That's what truly pulls her in. The energy of a man who has mastered himself. The man who can love deeply, but never beg. The man who gives effort, but knows when to stop. The man who can walk away with grace, not anger. If she doesn't value you, you don't punish her. You elevate yourself. You grow, you evolve, you build. You focus on your life, your health, your purpose, your peace. You become the man whose energy commands respect simply because he respects himself. And when she sees that your life didn't fall apart without her, but actually got better, that's when she'll feel the weight of her choices. That's when she'll start to see what she missed. It's never about making her regret. It's about making yourself proud. Because the truth is, sometimes she'll come back. Sometimes she won't. But either way, you win. Because you found yourself again. You stopped waiting to be chosen and started choosing yourself. You stopped explaining your worth and started embodying it. That's what creates real change, not just in her, but in you. So if she doesn't value you, don't chase, don't argue, don't plead, just shift your focus, your energy, your attention. Step back into your power. Because when you stop overextending yourself for someone who doesn't appreciate you, you create space for someone who will. And whether that person is her after she wakes up to the truth or someone entirely new, one thing will be certain. You'll never have to beg to be valued again, because real love doesn't have to be convinced. It recognizes your worth the moment it feels your energy. And when you learn to stand in that truth, you'll never need to make anyone change. They'll either rise to meet your value or fade away. Either way, you'll stand tall, strong, unbothered. Because the most powerful thing a man can do when she doesn't value him is simply remember who he is and never forget it again. The echo of memories is not just sound. It's a feeling that lingers in the quiet spaces between what was and what could have been. It's that haunting silence after the storm when everything looks the same, but nothing feels familiar anymore. You see, memories have a strange way of reminding us not only of what we had, but also of what we lost without even realizing it. They come uninvited, unannounced, at moments you least expect. A familiar scent, a song on the radio, a place you used to visit together. And suddenly, it all rushes back like a wave you thought you'd already survived, but you never truly do. Because the truth is, the things we try hardest to forget are often the ones our hearts cling to the most. When a woman doesn't value you, she rarely realizes what she's losing in that moment. She's too focused on what she thinks she wants, too caught up in her own emotions to see the depth of the man standing right in front of her. She mistakes consistency for convenience. She confuses patience with passivity. She assumes your effort will always be there because it's always been there. And while she's taking her time, testing your limits and underestimating your love, something inside you begins to shift. Not in anger, but in clarity, because the heart can only give so much before it starts to protect itself. At first, you try to ignore the change. You tell yourself it's just a phase, that maybe she's busy, maybe she's distracted, maybe she'll come around. You keep showing up, keep caring, keep proving that you're the one person who won't give up on her. You give her patience, you give her comfort, you give her loyalty. But deep down, something begins to break, quietly, invisibly, each time she overlooks your effort, each time she dismisses your presence, each time she takes without giving back. Until one day, something inside you snaps, not in anger, but in peace. You realize you can't keep pouring into someone who doesn't even look at the cup. And that's where the echo begins. The echo of all the moments you once shared. The laughter that used to fill the room, the conversations that stretched past midnight, the way her face lit up when she saw you walk in. Those memories don't fade immediately. They linger. They live in your thoughts like ghosts, reminding you of a time when things were simple, when she cared, when you believed she always would. You replay them, not because you want to go back, but because your heart can't quite accept that it's over. But something interesting happens when you finally stop chasing, when you stop trying to remind her of your worth and instead start remembering it yourself. The energy changes. You no longer reach out first. You no longer wait for a text that never comes. You no longer lose sleep wondering what went wrong. Instead, you begin to heal in silence. You begin to rebuild the parts of yourself you neglected while loving her. You find comfort in your solitude, peace in your stillness. And the same silence that once felt heavy now starts to feel like freedom. And she feels it. Oh, she feels it. The energy shift, the absence, the stillness. At first, she won't admit it. She'll pretend it doesn't bother her. She'll distract herself, surround herself with noise, tell herself that she doesn't care. But late at night, when her world quiets down, the echo of you will start to creep in. She'll remember your patience, your calm, your consistency. She'll remember the way you made her feel safe, the way you understood her without words. She'll scroll through old messages, stare at your name, and wonder why it feels so heavy now. That's the cruel beauty of realization. It doesn't hit all at once. It comes slowly, piece by piece, until she finally understands what she lost. It's not that she misses your attention. She misses your presence, your energy, the peace you brought into her life. Because she'll meet others, she'll talk to people who flatter her, who make her laugh, who excite her. But none of them will make her feel understood the way you did. None of them will listen the way you did. None of them will love her quietly, purely, and consistently the way you did. And when that truth finally hits, it hits hard, you see. The echo of memories isn't just a reminder of the past. It's a mirror of what's missing in the present. It's the sound of realization bouncing back from the walls of her own silence. It's her heart whispering the words her pride won't let her say. He cared, and I didn't see it. That's when it starts to hurt her, not when you walked away, but when she finally understands why you did. Because nothing hurts more than realizing someone's absence feels heavier than their presence ever did. But here's the part most people never talk about. When you reach that place of peace, when you've stopped waiting for her to change and start focusing on yourself, that's when you begin to glow differently. You become calmer, sharper, more self-assured. You stop reacting and start observing. You stop chasing and start attracting. Your silence, once mistaken for weakness, now radiates strength. And she notices, starts to wonder what changed. What happened to the man who once put her first? Where did he go? Why does he look so unbothered now? That curiosity is the beginning of her awakening, the first crack in her ego that lets the truth in. And the echo grows louder. The memories become sharper. She starts to replay the moments she once brushed off. The times you were kind when she was cold, patient when she was distant, loving when she was indifferent. She remembers your voice, your calmness, your loyalty, and she starts to see what she couldn't see before. That real love isn't loud, it's steady. It's not demanding, it's consistent. It's not flashy, it's enduring. And that's what she lost. But by then, you've changed. You no longer crave her recognition. You no longer need her to value you to feel valuable. You've already learned the lesson that your worth doesn't diminish because someone failed to see it. That the way someone treats you says more about their capacity to love than your capacity to deserve it. And once you understand that, her realization no longer defines you, it defines her. Because the echo of memories that once haunted you now haunts her. She'll see you moving on, smiling again, becoming the best version of yourself, and it'll sting. Not because she hates you, but because she'll finally realize that she was part of your story, but not your ending. She'll remember the man who gave her peace and realize she traded it for noise. She'll remember the one who stayed through her chaos and realize she pushed him away. She'll remember how easy it was to take you for granted and how impossible it is to replace you now. And that's the ultimate shift. The moment when the echo that once broke you becomes the melody of your strength. When you stop being haunted by what you lost and start being proud of what you learned. Because love isn't about being valued by others. It's about valuing yourself enough to walk away when you're not. And when she finally realizes what she lost, it won't be because you told her. It'll be because your silence said everything words never could. The echo of memories never truly fades, but with time, it changes tone. It stops being painful and starts being powerful. It stops being a wound and becomes wisdom. And as she lies awake, replaying the sound of your voice in her mind, you'll be at peace, knowing that the man she once overlooked became the man she can never forget.